Mane fa say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
Eye Kyerematen, Mr. Kyerematen, Abafranto Echo Joy News. Now, me bo video bi a kyeremo. Muntie video ni ye pa. Eye interviewer na eye Samson Anyenini or interview Kyerematen. Now, so tie the way he started his questioning, and it was about housing deficit, any continuation when it comes to governance. Now, muntie Samson Anyenini, we are jandam, we are killing it. That is what they do. Or starting the question, or the NDC start here, and the way he tried to rubbish NDC regime, their input in housing, and how Mahama Bino, what they did to improve the housing sector, a dying, and the senior a buying ACC dying. Samson Anyenini no jandambi or one smarter, and that is what they have been doing. And the same multimedia. Samson Anyenini num can say preco baby or halitosis. The num bone tinipan time meno. So we study interviews every day. Interview call me man gap because the num bone. Samson Anyenini jandam, and I keep telling Ghanaians, Mamu manko fo phone kwasi abrofu bi ndadamu. Now listen to Samson Anyenini's interview, the questioning. Then I will show you where the problem is. Now me mau answers to the na opesa oyeno. Let's kill this jandam. Where Samson Anyenini interviewing Kyerematen.
Let me get people to appreciate why, for example, you say we need a plan, and many agree with you on that. Yeah. That the last government, as in the NDC regime, decided that we needed affordable housing. And it doesn't look like there was a plan. They just looked for a place and went and began building towards 5,000 houses and spent $197 million US, completing about 1,502 units. The NPP comes into office. We are aware of affordable housing projects that are being done. Whilst that project is getting rotten. Thieves are breaking in, destroying. And the government says we need 32 million cedis to be able to complete that. People say that does not make sense. That is waste of the country's resources. And this is not just the first time. You had Kufuor's affordable housing. The NDC came, abandoned, and began their own. STS, we ended up wrong places, all of that. That is what a plan solves. But is it not really about being committed to executing our resources usefully?
You don't hear the question, no? I'll say the NDC had no plan. The message you wanted to put out there, the message was in there. NDC came, they didn't have any plan. They went to build Segleme. We were 10 years. Baby, free, a dime pony ho. And he sees that as a no plan. Or shall Segleme project ne ohona. Or no Samson Anyenini when it comes to affordable housing. And it's 1,500 houses now John Mahama could see na it was fitted. Everything in it, you know. Oh, when he said the NDC regime, you know, they had no plan. These are them penny for more like Ghana. Oh, Jimmy for when a T radio, street TV, so where to meet the best journalist in Ghana. Now the question here is, when you go into our constitution, what does it say about say Abainba, not say Abanye project, not Abain for bar? What is the new government supposed to do? In fact, when you go into the constitution, this is what it says. Yeah, basic. Okay, political objectives. Chapter 6, the directive principles of state policy. Oba ayet 7. As far as practicable, a government shall, yes, it shall, just say a government shall continue and execute projects and programs commenced by the previous government. You see, constitution is say aban bi ba na obeto se project bi wo ho a na so obi awia e wo sare den otoa so. Now Samson Anyenini e kan asem no. O say NDC by no many plan. And into 1,500 houses they go na and there. Oko eye Volta region. Amount for have been displaced by Omankwasia. Opening of the dam, no, we cannot move them into those buildings, no. Or sina NDC for any plan. Until they just went to build 1,500 houses. Into the NDC government, waste, plan. Question no busano. It was directed towards the NDC because when you say Alankoje Kyerematen, he's coming from the NPP. He wanted Alankoje Kyerematen to be a foolish politician and say yes. He wanted Alankoje Kyerematen to be a stupid politician like Akufo-Addo or Bawumia and do the petty politics and say yes, NDC wasted money on Segleme. But Alankoje Kyerematen Jimmy for because when him say he has been part of Kufuor's government, he has been part of Kufuor 1 and 2, he has been part of Akufo-Addo 1 and 2, and he knows the infrastructure NDC buying the investment that went into housing. About infrastructure. So Alankoje Kyerematen in his response, this is the response of Alankoje Kyerematen.
First, very respectfully, I'm not here to discuss what different governments have done and evaluate how they did it. I am putting forward a certain framework.
Did you hear Alankoje Kyerematen? Also, first of all, I didn't come to do what? Discuss governments and what they did when it comes to the housing or affordable housing or building houses for the Ghanaians. Alankoje Kyerematen Samson Anyenini is doing propaganda for the NPP. Until what he was trying to get out of Alan Kyerematen was for Alan Kyerematen to throw Mahama under the bus, and then they'll cut that caption and say Alan Kyerematen goes after Mahama. But Alan is smart because Alan knows he has also been part of this regimes. And then regimes. He was part of Kufuor 1 and 2. He has been part of Akufo-Addo 1 and 2. So he wanted to stay away from that because Alankoje Kyerematen, he knows the job NDC for the investment that has gone into the infrastructure, housing. He knows that the NDC continued in Juma Kufuor starting. He's doing propaganda for John Mahama. This platform is a solid platform. Jandam, it comes in so many ways. One is smarter. Halistosis for any acromphone, ajantra phone, tribal bigots, and ajantuamone, or Ketiche free, a Kwame free for Jandam ni a rapist, you know. That is how they sell the message. Alankoje Kyerematen is a smart politician. Now, because on him the investment NDC in the housing, the affordable housing sector, no, he moved away from there. And also, media margin and I want us all to have a national policy. What is he talking about? National development plan. Alan Kyerematen went on to say he wants us all to rally behind one idea, one plan. John Mahama in 2014 introduced the National Development Plan. The idea John Mahama had, 40 years National Development Plan. Now, the reason why Alankoje Kyerematen stayed away from that question, because he knows he has been part of the government, successive government that failed to continue projects. Alankoje Kyerematen knows he's played a part. He was part of Kufuor. He was part of Akufo-Addo. He knows he's been part of a political party that generally decided to ignore projects they came to meet.
PENDREAM TV now so far so good. Say open online portal Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.